insane. Ladies and gentlemen, know what's even more insane than the Rogers outage in Canada? And that is the career of Awesome Kong. Welcome to the Wrestler Review. My name is John Hastings. That is Dylan God. What are you wearing? I'm wearing my Justice hat because we're talking about another person who was nice who just got shit. That's welcome to the Wrestling is Hell.
She did assault someone in front of their kid, though.
Yeah, but it was Bubba the Love Sponge.
No, it was Rebby Hardy. It was Matt Hardy's wife. She beat up in front of her own kid.
Well, okay, so what is this? Let's talk about this.
Awesome Kong's predisposal to like throwing people around, but also like, let's just say this. I think that one time WWE was totally right to change the name was Awesome Kong to Karma, because it's probably kind of weird to look at just be a black lady and be like, I'm naming you after a gorilla.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, they definitely did the right thing on that. I'm sorry for looking distracted. My headphones started making a weird crackling noise. I don't know what's happening. It just started happening as soon as I made it.
Also, the screen is scratching up too, which is good. So it's like you do look sort of like you're in Zelensky's bunker. So this is checking out. Or a shower? Is that a shower?
First of all,
is that a hairdryer right behind you?
Vladimir Zelensky does not mean that I'm on his side. I want that noted for the record.
True.
First of all.
Is his name Vladimir, or you just added that?
Whichever Zelensky
Steve
you think
Zelensky.
You're talking about.
Sure.
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them floating around, whatever country I may or may not be performing in. Let's just say my Edinburgh show has a new bankroller, and I'm having to perform in some very weird countries.
This looks like a set for Don't Mess with Zohan, because there's like a fucking hairdryer on the wall like it's in a gun room in The Matrix.
Yeah, no, I'm in Vladimir Putin and Steven Seagal's Don't Mess with Zohan 2.
Yeah, they kicked
I played the
out.
American president, John Manitoba.
Jatoba?
Yeah, please. Welcome, Canadian president, John Manitoba. Justin Trudeau, pedophiles are good. That's my scene.
Honestly, though, that's what he thinks.
Yeah, that's true. Welcome to World War II.
Yeah, buddy. One of our friends put which I'll always do for my friends. Well, they'll put if I see one of their stand-up videos online, then if it's on like a topic, I'll take the opposite end of that topic, like in a trolley thing, just to try and get people to respond to me to boost the algorithm for them. And one of our friends, Nick Beaton, very funny. He has a joke about how Justin Trudeau is nothing, and he can't believe that anyone is mad at him or likes him. He's just kind of like, who cares? And then I
like
put a
Dave
joke.
Matthews Band of politicians.
No, because people fucking hate Dave Matthews Band for some reason.
But they hate him in the same way with Justin Trudeau, where it's like, why do you hate him? It's like, I don't know. He's just there, and I don't want him to be there.
Dave Matthews Band just looks like a guy, and because I've seen this a lot lately, which is a dad at a park with his kid in a wading pool, where he's like, okay, why don't you have shoes on? It's just like, I don't know, man. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I didn't think to bring sandals. Like, that was it. He just dressed like a guy who worked for Banana Republic, but with no socks. But anyway, I put on Nick Beaton's YouTube video, yeah, except he's a cummy, not commie, cummy. And then people did. A bunch of people liked it, and then were like, yes, he is. No one noticed that I said, is it a commie? I put cummy. They were like, no, this guy's good.
Yeah, it's great. Like, understand, what I like is we've kind of looped back, do you know what I mean? Where we're coming out of anyone taking anything on the internet seriously again, and now it's just kind of like, listen, we almost had a fascist insurrection in America. And listen, we just got a bit nuts in there for a little while. Whoops. So here's what we're going to do. People who still taking this seriously, we will see you on the internet. We will be making jokes at your expense. Everyone just kind of go back to your lives. All right.
Well, I don't want to get on the other side of this, but like the fascist insurrection is still happening.
Maybe in Canada. In America, we've cured it.
In America, where you have one hairdryer and...
Yeah, that's right.
It literally looks like a video game. It looks like something that would look like I'm assuming that there's a crate with a lot of ammo behind you.
It's up behind me.
And you have to stand in front of it, and then it just absorbs. Anyway, Awesome Kong, who, check this out, did you know this, actually liked wrestling. And then the other thing was, here's my other favorite part of her career. Jim Ross said she was just too fat.
Yeah, this is the craziest thing. This also just seemed to have resurfaced recently on the internet that Jim Ross was just like, let me tell you something about that ring. It keeps creaking because you are fucking disgusting. Like,
Well, how about this? How about this? We'll call you if we have a tag team named Baskin and Robbins. But until then, why don't you go eat the ring somewhere else, Junko?
Pardon me. That's you walking to the ring. I'm everyone else.
By the way, we're the same size.
Yeah, but yeah.
We're the exact same person. You just switch the gender. And
I do appreciate you meeting me at this Pizza Hut buffet, the simultaneously saddest and most satisfying of the buffets.
It is great.
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic. But it is the divorced dad special. Like, no one is going there. No one's going there with both mama and dad. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude, that crust for Pizza Hut is so good, but it literally just is like, hey, you know, oil?
It tastes like your dad has an apartment. That's what it tastes like.
Oh, yeah. It tastes it does taste like oven pizza.
Yeah.
Just like, fucking, I'm going to butter up this Delicio.
It tastes like your dad is like, and this is Sharon. And you're like, this looks like someone
Did your dad ever have an apartment? Your dad always had a house. Even if he couldn't afford it, he had a house.
No, he's had apartments.
All right, so my wife started like a vintage business, and so she just goes
this has been bubbling in the background. I don't
bubbling.
know if we can talk, like in that you mentioned this occasionally. This is the thing with being. Dylan is one of my closest friends. I mean, very close friends with Dylan means you know almost nothing about his life, but he kind of dumps it on you like people dump vacation photos on Instagram. He's just like, it's a vintage business being run out of the garage now. I'm like, what in the name of God?
Yeah, this is what happens when you have a wife and a young child. They decide, and this is not like I'm not the only person this has happened to. I've now talked to like 6 men whose wife were like, you know what? I found a shirt. I think I'm going to sell it and just say it's a business. And you go, okay. And then they're like, this guy just backed out of buying this. And you go, yeah. That's what happens when you don't get anyone to pay for something. That's what when they just say they're going to buy it. Yeah. That's how that works.
You go into like a retail business and there's always that one angry person in there. That guy's high up there. That guy hates everybody. That guy hates you.
Yeah. Well, sometimes someone will go into a store and look at a shirt and then not buy it. That's what happened to you, buddy.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know what But anyway, what the hell was I talking about? Anyway, yeah, Awesome Kong probably has a good vintage business now.
Yeah, I don't know how it loops back, but indeed
But she did good. She eventually just got out of wrestling and was on Glow, a show that they canceled that another person we know was about to be on Glow, and then they fucking canceled it, which was crazy.
Is that true?
Yes. Caitlin Meh.
Oh yeah, that was very exciting.
She's a wrestler now. Because I guess once you've trained for wrestling, all right, I wrestle now.
Yeah,
sure.
I gotta tell you, it was one of those things where when she revealed she was training for wrestling, and then I was like, "Oh, are you doing these like sort of things and learning this stuff?" And like, she's like, "Oh,
for stage."
And she was like, "How do you know those words?" And I was like, "Oh no, I've been too honest about what I know about. Oh no." Yeah. I can hear your vagina healing over, and
what the hell does that mean?
Super sad
because
you know I know so much.
Does that happen, John?
Wrestling.
That seems like something you've said to a girl before.
If
you don't sleep with me, your vagina will heal over.
That song.
Really?
Yeah, that's right.
Do you have this song I made up? No. Well, too bad. Play any song. I'm going to sing it anyway.
Put whatever song you want on, because guess what I'm going to be doing? I'm going to be singing this song to it. 1 and a 2 and a 1, 2, 3. I said the word Mark and jobber too casually, and now all the people who have heard it don't have genitals. Do you want me to keep singing?
I think the whole episode should just be whatever language that was.
Yeah, it was English.
Check this out. In the fucking...
Whoa.
Sometimes in Wrestler Review, we uncover things about the world that, frankly,
Mark
pissed
down
me
the
and
time.
John off so fucking much that Epstein's
Go ahead.
Island looks like a fucking nothing piece of shit who cares? Order all the cheese pizza you want, Hillary, because that's nothing next to what I'm about to tell you. Did you know this, John?
I did not.
Kia Stevens, Awesome Kong's mother, Phyllis Durant, was an actress and a contestant coordinator for Family Feud. Later on in life, Kia Stevens was a contestant on Family Feud. Isn't that crazy? That's
is,
bullshit. Think of all the
Yeah.
people trying to get contestants on Family Feud and they can't. Kia Stevens was grandmothered or mothered into it. This is
Yeah, I can't get
ludicrous.
Granted, I've never lined up, but I would still like the opportunity.
Well, you have to line up?
Yeah, I don't think you should have to line up. I think everyone should be allowed to be on that show if they want to be.
That should be something you get for voting in the election.
Yeah, I agree with you completely, Dylan. That's why I have not been on the show, and I think it's unfair that she has.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm doing one of those things. It's one of those things that annoys me the most is when someone takes no action towards a goal but complains about not getting it. I feel that way about game show appearances.
I mean, yeah. What does that happen recently? Is that because you're in England? You want to be the queen and you're pissed because you've done all these pageants or whatever?
Yeah, I look great in a dress. Excuse me, can I have a crown, please? Look at me fucking waving, Dylan. Look at it.
I never will look at it.
If you're paying on the Patreon, you get to see how fucking good this looks right now. And yes, it looked like someone in a 2003 to 4 terrorist video when they actually would show the head decapitation. Something was very interesting that was pointed out by Doug Stanhope, and I never really could watch those videos, but I just got it based off of my like darker friends who would watch those videos. That apparently it went from you would see the decapitation.
By the way, darker friends, he means people that like dark humor. He's not talking about
Dylan is racist.
Just trying
They
to
all got
clarify that.
They all
they didn't. No one describes their darker friends and then says, you know what? He probably means the subversive humor of a guy who looks like he's about to shoot up a school but doesn't have access to guns.
That's exactly who I mean, and see, you got the description perfectly.
Well, that's what Doug Stanhope is. He's a guy in a trench coat who like is the only guy in a trench coat where he shows, oh, okay, this guy's in a trench coat. He must be sad and not he's going to shoot me and my friends.
Yeah, he's the guy that very quickly is by the age of about 21 just becomes the guy where you're like, I would like to have a beer and it's 1 p.m. and I haven't spoken to that guy in 5 years. Guess who I know will want to go have a beer at 1 p.m. on a Tuesday? That guy. That's who that person is now.
That is a very specific thing, too, where it's like the ability to wear a trench coat and not project you're all in danger.
Yeah.
That's like you got to be pretty handsome or just have something to you.
You either have to be pretty handsome or be one of those guys where you're like, listen, I don't get how you're with this girl based off of your appearance, but I get it based off of your vibe.
Yeah. If you see someone in a trench coat, usually best case scenario, you're going to see their dick. Best case.
Oh, yeah.
That's the worst one. You and your friends are about to die. But like best one, you're like, oh, this guy's just going to fucking
It's one of
show us a
three.
little teeny peeny.
You're about to see inches. You're about to see
You're about
the
to
muzzle.
see inches. Okay, that's a real turn of phrase. Let's go. You're about to see inches.
You're about to
I like that because
see
it is inches. Inches like ooh, more than one. You're
Or
about to see inch.
could be
I'm not erect. Wait, no, yeah,
See-
still inch.
see inch to inches. You're about
Okay.
to see the fucking barrel of a gun.
So you're gonna
Or
see
you're
it
about
grow.
to-
You're gonna see inch to inches. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a
Or
boner
you're
while I
about to hear
fucking
about veganism. Those are the three options
trench
with
coat.
a trench coat. Yeah,
I've never
absolutely.
seen. Like, and now you're talking about women in trench coats.
No, I'm talking about men in trench coats.
Men in trench coats with
Yes.
vegan men in trench coats. I've never seen that. I've only seen people who saw The Matrix and are like that, but on my body now.
Yeah, we're the same guy. They take two paths.
I guess board games. That's you could have a guy in a board game tournament who just smelled.
Yes.
I remember me and my friend Bryn went into a board game store and we were like, "Wow, we thought we smelled
The
bad." That must be
bullies.
like
That's
must
like
be
the
how, like-
bullies finding the nerds fucking secret place.
Oh, it was
The
great.
idea you and Bryn fucking found a board game. Oh my god, I'm surprised you guys didn't burn it to the ground. The two meanest guys.
That's not mean. We're not mean.
Yes, you are. You two.
No.
must have said a lot of
Sassy, if
snide
anything.
Comments about the board game.
The only thing we
tournament.
talked about was like that the smell of body odor in that board game store
go.
must be how people who are good at basketball in their like small town feel when they go to college. Like, wow, this is another league. Like, I'd honestly have to specifically pick my diet and actively give up bathing to smell that bad.
like.
It smells like they switched clothes with a dead body. It was fucking
So, like, if your body order was Christian Lautner, who played for Duke, joining the dream team for the U.S. Olympics.
Leitner, yes.
Leitner, their body odor.
You
was
got him. I hope you got him. I hope you were just reading some TMZ and that was you got him confused with Taylor Lautner of Twilight. I like that. I like the idea that John has a Taylor, like John went through a rough divorce. Obviously, he's had a really bad year.
I
but
watched
also
two things.
But he looks at
ESPN
Taylor in the
30 for
eyes and
30s
everything's fine. Yeah.
And Twilight. You want to know why I like those things? They're very sweet.
Maybe
Yeah.
love will work. I'm glad the athletes have no money. Those are the two
Get
things
this
John
though,
likes.
by the way.
Okay.
Team Jacob.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's what I mean. Because you're fucking want to lick Taylor Lautner's abs, which is not a bad thing.
Yeah, I'm Team Jacob.
So after Jim Ross said, "Call me back when you're not 6 people," and then high-fived
exactly.
himself,
Go
he went,
invent
"Bah, boom!" High-fived
Yeah.
himself, and then
Go
asked her if she had an ice cream
invent keto.
sandwich. Sorry.
And go invent keto and stop looking like a thing that the Undertaker would throw up on.
First of all, Vince sees you. That's not gonna be good. And
Yeah,
I mean,
listen.
ladies, you are literally 9 things he does not like.
Yeah. I listen. This company, as I'm more and more rising through the executive ranks, is mostly just a money laundering operation for sexual harassment payoffs. And if he sees you, he's going to say words so violent, it's going to trigger a vote on the civil rights movement. So you need to get out of Connecticut.
Vince is actively campaigning to get segregation back in the Constitution. So you are this is not going to be good. So after that, Awesome Kong goes and works the indies for the first time in her career, and pretty much just gets signed on in Japan from 2002 to 2007. And how that works is, in Japan, John, get this, they value women's wrestling. Thoughts and comments.
I mean, I feel like they just do a lot of backwards things there. No, they
That's true, yes. John, more on this.
You know, in good old-fashioned North American wrestling is you put the women's match at a time and place where it's very convenient for the entire audience not to be paying attention. And if they do anything close to anything athletic, you do not allow it to happen. It's bad.
Okay, John, I just thought of this now, but
And
what?
you don't call the
Delicious.
division something
Okay.
normal like the women's division. You call it something like the slut time for fighting sluts.
Yeah, diva is just the best way to say cunt. You win the cunt title.
Diva is the politest cunt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. She's a diva. She's fucking very picky about what's in catering. This cunt. I mean, the thing is that Awesome Kong, she is one of the biggest cunts I've ever seen. This is going to be a great match.
That was Jim Ross's original announce for her when she returned in AEW, and Cody Rhodes was like, "We're gonna have to take that again." I'm glad we have a delay.
What would be if like you had a women's title, and what would the male equivalent be of the diva title? Like calling the men's title, like it'd be like all women's title. It would be the world championship, which would imply that was just women.
Micro
and then-
penis master of the universe.
No, it'd be like something like
No, because it has it has to be micro penis because it has to be something that no, I don't know. You know what I mean?
I guess it would just be asshole, but
Or racist.
Yeah, sure. Let's just say racist.
It's racist. It's yeah.
And, this is the men's race. Not even men's. It would be the racist champion. It was just the men fighting.
By the way, what matches you could have for that belt? Holy shit! What?
Oh yeah, we could build all. We should do that. We should do a fantasy draft of pedophiles versus racists. Who has the best?
Oh my god!
Who has the best? And you can't draft trios? One guy for both.
Trios, a 3-on-3.
No, you do a 10-man federation. You have 2 main eventers, or 4 main eventers, 4 mid-carders, maybe a couple tag teams. Who knows? Anyway, so Awesome Kong wrestles in Japan, and just by not knowing Japanese wrestling and not a lot about it, I feel like me and you, John, are missing out on a lot of criminals that we could be talking about. Because
I absolutely agree.
It's been a while, and
we're also missing out on a lot of just unnecessary backstory. Like the amount of times that Tenryu fell out with All Japan, we are really missing out on that. We're missing out on like the weird WWF pay-per-view they did in Japan. I just want to learn more about Tenryu. Give me more Tenryu.
But this is the thing about Tenryu. What did Tenryu do?
No idea.
Like, did Tenryu, like, make Tiger Mask dress up like Tiger Mask even at home and then just slap the shit out of him randomly? Because that would be the only, that would be the only way to compete with North American, maybe even more specifically Southern promoters.
What's better about Japanese wrestling is behind all of it is the Yakuza. Like that would be like finding out like who's backing Vince McMahon. It's the Gambino family. So
it's way more organized. What you're saying. So they'll put up with way less shit because there's actual consequences.
Yeah, there's actual business people are involved.
So
people that value money and are not genuinely insane or just stupefyingly weird.
But I mean, it's a lot of it's cultural. Like, so I mean, maybe in Japan, some of these guys are
for the People's Party. Dylan Gott. Hope you're ready for the. Yeah,
it's a bad culture. Is that what you want me to say?
All right, go ahead.
It's a bad. I said the whole thing. I thought I skipped to.
Not going to be on Compound Media.
Compound Media. You can use that. Also, John, stop talking about weird right-wing things you know about because you're invested heavily in them.
I will not. I will not stop talking about those things.
So here's someone that really got the shaft. I think that we think about Awesome Kong. We talked about Gail Kim last week, and these are 2 people that we say, oh man, if they would just have started wrestling, well, I guess Jesus Christ, it'd be like 15 years later at this point, then they'd have an amazing career, even more so than they already had. Sarah Del Rey really got fucked over. She really got fucked over by women's wrestling just not being possible in the mid-2000s.
I completely agree. Also, why was women's wrestling not even really regarded at all in the mid-2000s? Like, at all. Like, the Ruthless Aggression was just alive and well. And then TNA was kind of doing it, but TNA was in this weird sort of middle ground transition where it was like,
no, TNA was doing it because they weren't. We talked about this last week, but they weren't paying attention. Vince Russo just went to the point where it's like, oh, women are used for sex, and then I think they were like, oh, we got to tone it down, and then he just genuinely didn't want women on television if they're not just going to like show their fake ho-hos. So he just was like, well, then we have to have them on television, so just do whatever you want. And then they did great stuff, and then he was like, let me step in here. How about this? They sucked me off.
Yeah. Okay. So listen. As everyone sat down, I know it's called Spike TV, so that's why all the women wrestlers are going to suck us off.
Bro, how about this, bro? Good commercial for Spike TV. I hit a woman with a truck. She's really dead. No women anymore, bro.
Okay, so here's what I was thinking while you were talking, which was how weird do you think it must be in so many meetings for wrestling companies? Like, just how specifically the female performers must be talked about in terms
think
of
the women are in the meetings?
Yes, I absolutely think
in the mid-2000s, you think the women are in the meetings?
I think Vince McMahon held a meeting with all of the women's division in a toilet that was for usually disabled people, but that's actually just for when there's women wrestlers in the office and he has to shit, and they stand in there and watch him shit in the disabled toilet.
John, I feel like this is the carbon copy of, now that all these NDAs have come out and shit, I feel like that's the type of joke that we would make and would be funny, but now is like a real thing that could have happened.
Oh my God, that is a very good point.
Do you know what I mean? Like if we were like, this Hitler guy's fucking weird, and then it was like, oh god, oh no.
No.
That's like a thing that like, because one of the NDAs is, and by this time, if you're listening to this later on, if you're catching up on your Awesome Kong and not the week of what, I don't know when this will come out, but June, second or third week of July, Jesus Christ, 2022, then this may have all blown up his face or bypassed, but like one of the NDAs was $7 million specifically, and just an actual talent who was forced to basically do sex things on him. $7 million. What the fuck? Like, that's fucking crazy. And that is the time that Awesome Kong is in the Knockouts division, living life, because she don't need nobody to fucking. She just beat the shit out of Bubba Love Sponge. Good for her.
Oh, it's very good. We're not Yes, no, there is nothing that isn't amazing about the beating up of Bubba Love Sponge, because bear in mind that is also
we'll get to that
around the
later.
time
It's
that
so
Hulk
good.
Hogan has just. Oh, this is also unseemly. Here's the problem with the world now: is you can't make any joke without just being confronted with the real life emotion of everything, and that's just not fun to talk about wrestling, because you're just like, oh yeah, and then Bubba the Love Sponge and Hulk Hogan were having sex with Bubba the Love Sponge's wife, which led to Peter Thiel's ability to destroy the media in our world while fascism rises. Yeah, hell is coming. Hell is coming, Dylan.
Awesome Kong, though, she was in Shimmer, which was good, and that was with cheerleader Melissa, Serena Deeb, Sarah Del Rey, Mercedes Martinez. A lot of the women in this Shimmer are now, I realize, in AEW, which makes sense because Tony Khan, Tony Khan, the last time he probably paid attention to a lot of media was 2006, so he's just trying to like make 2006 now, which is pretty crazy.
Also, can I just say that I like that every decision Tony Khan makes, everyone just does not give him credit for at all. And by the way, I agree with it. Everyone's just like, oh, it's because he liked this fucking week in TNA in 2008. But yeah, can't fucking think on his own, this fucking idiot kid with his Twitter account. And I, by the way, agree with everyone, but I still find it very funny that no one gives him credit for anything.
Well, yeah, I mean, what are you going to do, right? Like, give him credit? Fuck that.
Yeah, I agree. I still find it funny.
This is what wrestling fans do, though. We dreamed for years of something like AEW, and now we get to do our favorite thing, which was nitpick it until it's not fun anymore.
And, by the way, it's still very fun. As someone who, by the way, isn't even watching the product, is just reading the nitpicking, it's phenomenal. Everyone's doing a great job.
You and AEW is even the best is when you don't pay that much attention and just kind of let it happen because you're like, oh, broadly speaking, this will be a rewarding experience watching this television program. But if you nitpick it, obviously it falls apart. But it's like, oh, broadly speaking, yeah. People cheer for Eddie Kingston, so they made him higher in the card. It's been so long since wrestling did that. It's been so long since it was like, oh, yeah, I mean... They cheered, like that's kind of a weird example, but they cheered for Road Dogg, so Road Dogg was featured in a lot of matches.
Yeah, the only difference is that Eddie Kingston also wasn't like, not only am I getting the European title, I'm also getting a fentanyl prescription.
His whole character is that he's battling to not do fentanyl, so good for him.
That's right. Isn't that every wrestler's character deep down?
Yeah, but Eddie Kingston makes it more interesting because he looks like he's actually been
every
through
wrestler's character truly deep down is just trying not to take pain pills. Why is Kane
I mean,
the
I
mask?
guess, but like he's the one who's like, here's the reasons why, and then most wrestling characters like, yeah, I mean, I'm trying not to because my bitch doctor told me not to, but I'm still gonna because I'm not a cuck.
Yeah, it's either do this or
doctors are heels.
Yeah, doctors are all heels. I'm not gonna turn heel by listening to a doctor, so I will continue to take 5 Oxycontins every hour.
She was in Ring of Honor for some spot matches with obviously going up against Sarah Del Rey. The independent circuit. This is the cool thing where it's like at a certain point, TNA did lock down and not let some of their wrestlers work any other feds.
There was a television reason for that. There was, I think, something to do with the Sinclair purchase or something like that changed their appearance, because there was like wasn't there like a great schism or something like that? I feel like there was.
There was an HD net. I forget when ROH was on HD net, but maybe it was the HD net thing because Mark Cuban. Yes,
I think it was this.
HD net was Mark Cuban's attempt at like basically he was right weirdly, but he was like, everyone's gonna have HD TVs, so all of our shit's gonna be made specifically for HD TVs. So we're gonna have like basically a sports channel just for that, and then it just didn't work out really.
Yeah.
And Ring of Honor was one of the things.
Every idea that Mark Cuban has really just comes down to like, hey, check out this cool shell company for some stuff that's basically money laundering, but very legal. And you're like, okay, Mark, cool.
Hey, man.
You got a boat, I guess.
When you have money, you just don't lose the money. That's lit.
Yeah, that's right.
Kia Stevens would join Impact Wrestling, Total Nonstop Action Wrestling, in 2007. And did you know this? Her mom was in the hospital with cancer. So what'd she do?
She
injected her mom with more cancer because get the fuck out of my way, all right? I'm about to wrestle Gail Kim, woman.
Yep, that's what she said. She was like, Mom, you got a body slam with cancer because I'm going to body slam Gail Kim at the impact zone. Guess what the impact zone will also be? Inside the tumor.
She debuted on my birthday, my 22nd birthday, as a present for specifically me.
Yeah, that's right.
And she went from Amazing Kong to Awesome Kong. They were like, no, wait. Keep the gorilla part.
Yeah. Wait, excuse me. Which part is offensive?
Make it offensive, please.
Yeah, make it very, very, very historically uncomfortable, but make sure we can copyright it. What's important is we control the royalty. Say it with me, Dylan. What's important is we control the royalty.
Awesome Kong, of course, because it is Impact. It's still Impact, so she wins the title so fast and so many times. But she has great matches. She got great matches against Gail Kim, and as we mentioned last week.
The best part TNA ever is that this is when no one is paying attention to the wrestling because they're just negotiating the Spike TV deal and then the Hulk Hogan entry deal. So all the wrestling becomes amazing. Because here's the thing to remember about wrestling. Wrestling is the best when no one who is a suit is paying attention. WrestleMania 19 is really good because everyone was exhausted from the last 2 years and they just were like, I don't fucking know. The two best wrestlers go on at the end and then just a bunch of crazy fun matches. Yeah, let's try it. Never do that again.
And
no one was satisfied except everyone loved it. You fucking idiots. Fuck you.
And perfect. Hulk Hogan debuts in January of 2010 and obviously brings in Bubba the Love Sponge, who then is the reason why Awesome Kong is fired because Hulk Hogan ruins everything to do with wrestling except if it's 1985, essentially. Like, it's fucking crazy, man. He debuts, I'm just reading it, January 4th. Ooh, 2 days off of an amazing day. 2010. And and then by March, she was released. March 1st, she's released from TNA for beating up Bubba the Love Sponge.
Do you remember why she beat up Bubba the Love Sponge?
I don't remember his specific comments, but they were about Haiti.
I remember I specifically believe it was about the hurricane in Haiti and how America should not be helping them. And then and it's specifically because they were black. I believe there was something like it was very specific about that. It was like what because here's the thing that no one remembers or talks about the 2000s is that it was a real cave of like the edgy white dude. You know what I mean? Like as someone who loved Opie and Anthony, that was, oh boy, some of that stuff has not aged well. Go ahead, Dylan.
I mean, Opie and Anthony, I assume you're an Opie and Anthony fan just because you didn't have an uncle. Like, you just had you didn't have access to farmers. I was like, these are just farmers in leather jackets.
Yeah, that's right. I also like people in leather jackets. Come on.
Man, I've never, thank God. As soon as a stand-up comedian puts leather on and I'm like, I think we're out.
I completely agree.
I think we're done. I think we're done here. Anyway.
Also, fanny pack on stage.
No, I like that.
I've been seeing that a lot recently. I guess
really?
Yeah.
Do people sort through the fanny pack, take a while, and then give the audience the finger? Because if not, they're leaving money on the table.
Absolutely not. Also, they are not just keeping a bunch of pill bottles in the fanny pack, which is the only thing I accept for a fanny pack.
You have to. Yeah, fanny pack, old guy fanny pack across the chest is like young guy. It's like, ooh, he's probably got his iPhone in there. send a bunch of cool snaps, maybe get a date later. Old guy, it's like he's probably got his vitamin D in there because his mood is bad.
Yeah, he's probably got like a CBD edible in there because he's trying
Yeah.
because of his friend at work.
I can't get too high because I have to work
Yeah.
tomorrow.
I want to just have the calm euphoria feeling. My friend Jeff, who shares my cubicle, he takes one at work, and you know what? He's a real treat.
As I've explaining though, January 4th, Hulk Hogan
2 days
debuts.
away from your favorite day. Go ahead.
Bubba the Love Sponge says Haiti is bad and should stay that way. Awesome Kong, this is not spoken about enough. Was the reason why she was mad is not only the obvious part that's just tasteless for Bubba the Love Sponge to say. The other thing is she was actively involved in fundraising for the relief funds for Haiti. She was a driving force in the wrestling community in raising funds for Haiti, and then she fucked him up, obviously, and then he was so mad, he tried to get them to fire her, and then it worked because there's, like, that's infuriating.
Well, welcome to Florida. Like, they were like, well, we have to fire you. And they're like, why? And you're like, because this is the state of Florida,
because Hulk Hogan runs this company now. Like,
yeah.
The amount of shit... That's one of the things where it's like the amount of fucking shit that Hulk Hogan got to do when he comes in and he's like, you know how everyone likes the 6-sided ring? No, because I don't like it, dude.
Now, let me say, they changed the name of the company. He changed it to Impact. We can't be...
That makes sense.
Yeah, but okay.
Tits and ass wrestling?
Yeah, which Vince... Also, it's insane that Jeff Jarrett let that happen. Like, it's just, there's certain things...
That makes sense, though.
Like, yeah, that Jeff Jarrett would let it happen. Yes, it would, because Jeff Jarrett's like a pill-popping weirdo at the time.
Jeff Jarrett 100% was like, Dixie Carter was like, ooh, maybe it's something a little risky like TNA. And he's like, that's good, yeah. Whatever money, yeah, give me the money.
Yeah, can you actually do that, make it out to cash, and just don't tell my dad?
Jeff Jarrett's the perfect guy who, like, he's like the Karl Rove of wrestling. That's not true. But he's just the guy next to the guy with money who's smiling because
what he is he's very much the Roger Stone of wrestling, which was he was always sort of like, he was like vaguely involved, but not really. And by just because the world is really stupid right now, he was responsible for something that happened that was really stupid and now won't go away.
Here's my favorite thing is that Awesome Kong goes to WWE. She's there for 2 years. And she's I guarantee the only person? Maybe not, but maybe if I phrase it this way. She's the only active wrestler in the history of WWE to appear in more video games than she did WWE matches. Because she only had one match ever in the WWE, which was in the 2012 Royal Rumble. She came in and threw a couple people out, then got thrown out herself. That was her only match.
Yeah, she has the most interesting distinction of basically in the WWE and AEW has two of the best debuts, followed by see you later, never to appear again.
Well, she debuts and then immediately gets pregnant.
Yeah, the first time, and then AEW, she just hurt her back. But yeah, gets pregnant, goodbye, see you in hell.
Yeah, you can see in AEW, she cannot move. She cannot move at all in AEW, but that's crazy. She's in 2 video games. She's in WWE 11 and 12 as downloadable characters.
That's good paychecks. That's some nice royalties.
WWE 13 and 12 and 13. If someone was really mad at me,
oh my god! If we listen carefully, we can hear the Reddit post.
Reddit.
That's right.
Are you a big Reddit guy?
Nah, I used to be.
I've never used Reddit.
I find it very fun sometimes for like weird podcast feuds every once in a great while. Like I dug deep on everyone bullying Brendan Schaub today. I've had my first day off in like 3 weeks after heavy Edinburgh Festival preview touring. Good Lord, the entire internet is bullying that UFC fighter. The entire internet, my Lord.
I mean, it's something that everyone can get on board with. He's a handsome guy with a lot of money, so you know it's not going to hurt his feelings, and he seems blissfully unaware that he sucks. It's perfect.
Pretty great. Doesn't know Africa was a continent. Welcome to hell.
I love that.
Come on.
So she returns to Impact in 2015, 2016. and Bubba the Love Sponge asked her to be fired, and as a favor to Bubba, they're like, oh, actually, this is Bubba wrestling, so they fire her again. No, she is fired after she, as I mentioned off the top, slaps around Rebby Hardy, Matt Hardy's wife, in front of her son. And that was stemming from an incident essentially where Rebby Hardy would always change, not in the women's locker room, and then started changing with the women. And I guess Kia Stevens has enough outside interest that she just doesn't care, because she really got fired by the company for basically picking a fight with the friend or significant other of the person who essentially is the biggest draw in the company each time. Because she goes from Hogan, and then she goes, this is the broken Matt Hardy thing.
Yeah.
Like, Matt Hardy saved that fucking whole company with those little skits.
Yeah, but basically understanding Facebook videos in that brief time where if you put a long enough Facebook video up, it would just be seen by 18 million people.
Oh, dude, you didn't hear about this? They just lied about that? You know about that?
Yeah, I know that I know that it's been lied about now, but people still have fame and catchment from that. You know what I'm saying? Because they elevate it to a certain point. They use real people in certain cases.
No, I know, but Facebook was just fudging the numbers. They just multiplied by 10, and then they destroyed all of the internet. used to be able to get paid to write for websites. That's dead now. Now you just have to be like, I hope I post enough free stuff that someone will let me give me a free shirt.
Yeah, I hope I eventually get in charge of a company's Twitter account.
Yeah, and then I hope that I'm given the sweet release of death.
Yeah.
No, but I'm super jacked, and that is true. So
to a gun, that's me.
I think that Awesome Kong is one of the undercover real big letdowns about AEW, because they were like, oh, our women's division doesn't really have an identity. Brandy Rhodes is gonna be pushed for some reason. Remember the Nightmare Collective where it was like, we're bad guys, but Cody Rhodes is like Hulk Hogan, but we're still what?
Yeah, he was Triple H Hulk Hogan, but his valet was supposed to be Luna Vachon, Sonny Sable. It was AEW is one of those things where it was like, guys, what are your expectations? Yeah. Very high. Why? Well, welcome to the world of internet and the wrestling. We are nerds. And the first year and a half, it was like, what is this crapola?
It was 9 different ideas. That is the thing that Tony Khan definitely did, where he was like, okay, everyone's doing each 20 minutes of this show is completely 100% different than the last. I'm just going to do this now.
Yeah.
Congratulations. I'm redoing WCW, but with a cohesive storyline. Oh, John's tired. Well, fucking do some coke, buddy.
I am going to do a line of Booyah, of course.
I'm going to smoke some coke. Do they have fentanyl in the UK yet?
Yeah, because I smoked a bunch in my bag.
Cobby giblets. Oh no, the Cobby giblets on that boo-boo.
I did not, but based off of a Vice article I read and what I partook in on the street, it is very true that England and Scotland is the home of cocaine in the world. Highest percentage of cocaine use per person in the world.
That's crazy
Scotland.
Because it's not even, they have 2 options when you buy coke in England. There's either, hey, do you want cocaine? Or we'll just call this cocaine and you can snort whatever this is. And I would always go, the cheap one, please.
Yeah,
I'll take the Poundland cocaine, please.
It's not poison, but it's also not poison. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. This is diluted rat poison, so you won't die, but you'll think you're on coke. That's good enough.
Yep, sounds cool to me. So as long as I think it.
But anyway, I mushed my fucking mushroom up against a bunch of that coke, tell you that.
Oh my god. Anyway, outside, old Johnny Boy was smoking a Billy Bifta, and 2 different guys were like, one guy with a lot of cuts on his face was like, do you got a bump? You got a bump. I was like, no, I do not have a bump. Absolutely
I don't have a bump, sir.
Sir, get away from me. I'm scared.
You're scaring the cum right out of me. Ooh.
No. I was trying to think about girls, and now I'm thinking about scary things. And then
Oh,
another guy
yeah.
walked up to me and was like, "Coke? You want Coke?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Fine,
Bitch.
It's very
Hey, do you have
sweet.
any Coke? Sorry. I would love to do this. Hey, man, do you have cigarette? Oh, I don't. Pussy. That's what I do. Pussy. I do. I have cigarettes. Wait, you just asked me if I had cigarettes? Yeah, I wanted to know if you were cool, and you're not. You're a pussy. Bye.
Yeah, I just learned. I'm a bear because I can smell when people are on their period. I figured out it was you because you don't have any cigarettes.
Hell yeah, bitch.
I
And
fucking
that
got
is
you, bro.
weakness. Your
Yeah,
eggs are free falling out of your pussy, bro.
And I detected it because I'm an animal, not a human man. Rawr, rawr, rawr.
Oh, no. Oh, you're scared of me? I'm scared of me. Oh, what if I get too high and remember the darkness?
Anyway, Brandy Rhodes
Go ahead.
was Awesome Kong's manager. Awesome Kong couldn't move her body at all.
Yeah, it was very
And
strange.
then-
I've never seen someone get so hurt from doing a TV show. Apparently, Awesome Kong was carrying the glow on her back because by the time she arrived in AEW, she couldn't either take a bump nor fall down. She basically, it's like, hey, do you remember when you watched that YouTube video when she walked to the ring for the Royal Rumble to surprise Michael Cole? Yeah, well, that's all she can do now. Welcome to AEW in the first 6 months. Remember the Dark Order? They're for some reason the main event. This is very bad.
Yeah, but the Nightmare Family was good because that was like
Was it?
Father Jim Mitchell managing Dusty Rhodes for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, that was
Anyway,
shit.
that was real. Just the lack of talent that they had at the beginning of that company, and then slowly, basically during the pandemic, taking all of NWA's people and then globbing on obviously to a bunch of NXT people has been so good for that. And now there's some stability, which is good. Anyway, she retired because she
It's
got
also-
money
can I just
from
say
a
this? I
Netflix
think
show.
Also, what
Go
we're
for it.
now learning, before you continue with what your point is, the other thing AEW benefited from, which was the WWE leaning their company down for this, now like onslaught of what are going to be investor lawsuits if he used corporate money to pay off any of these cases. So that's what he also like. Tony Khan also benefited from Daniel Bryan leaving. You know what I mean? CM Punk coming back because of how they treated wrestling. Like there was a lot of luck that AEW gets that no one credits Tony Khan with. They're like, he was a genius at being very lucky at the right time of creating an alternative. You know what I'm saying? But he did not do that with the women's division, which is the weirdest thing about AEW, where it's like,
Well, there was
we're gonna do.
there was
Go ahead.
an offer on the table for Daniel Bryan to come back to WWE, and he just didn't.
Yeah, he wanted to go. He wanted to go to an alternative. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry. I thought you were saying he was just there, and then it was like, okay, well, they'll all go here. But I mean, yeah, leaning down the company. Obviously, Nick Khan just being like, this shit's ready for anything. Why do you guys have all these other wrestlers? And they're like, oh, because we're trying to compete with these people. And then I guarantee Nick Khan was like, why? And
Yeah.
then no one could answer that question because we're petty. And it's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? So wait a minute. Your roster, you pay twice as much for talent as you should because of pettiness? Yeah.
And greed.
Also, we want to own them
Malice.
so they don't have fun somewhere else.
Yeah, they're our property. We own them.
But they're not employees.
That's very important.
So she's on Glow. Did you watch Glow?
No,
I did. It was good.
I didn't. I did not enjoy the first episode. I didn't enjoy
Didn't
the way
like
it was
it.
shot. Yeah, I didn't
Like the way it was shot. It was shot with a lot of women, which John was upset with.
That's correct. Dylan is remembering the text message I sent about it very much. Too many. Boo.
So wait, when does Road Dogg show up and call these bitches whores? That's
Yeah,
what he
excuse
said.
me. When is Dick Murdoch going to show up and just show everyone the membership card he has to a fraternal organization?
Here's the two things I don't like about this show. There are women and they get to talk. Here's the third
Yeah.
thing.
Excuse me. Why isn't this show mostly just these women using the toilet as I requested? I couldn't hear what Dylan said, so I'm just not going to end the episode by saying this. The rest of you loves you. Thank you all Patreon people for patronizing our Patreon. And also our goal is to get to 100 patrons. That's difficult because you guys are funny fuckers. So a bunch of you deleted your Patreons. Which, you know what? I think it's very funny. So thank you for making that quest even more elusive for both Dylan and I. Please check Dylan out at Dylan Goth. That's DYLAYANGO. Double up that T. I am at the John Hastings. You can check me out on the UTS if you really want to, ladies and gentlemen. Dylan, suck my butt, eat my piss. I love you. You're gonna have to edit some stuff out.